And guess what? We are making it happen on Make Something Happen. I'm Audrey Wiggins, your host for this evening. Want to welcome you to our debut show. I'm here with my friend Elaine Greaves, and we're excited this evening to show you and tell you all about what's going on in our world. And since this is a global program, though it's evening here in Cleveland, Ohio, over in the United States, I know it's morning somewhere and afternoon somewhere else. So to you guys, I greet you in the morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Before we get started, I want to make a couple of acknowledgments. I want to thank Jesse and Sandra for helping to get this day going, and some other special folks that reached out to support. There's Dion and Charles and John, Audrey, Matt, and and Carolyn. Also want to acknowledge my sisters, Deborah, Vanita, and my brother Vince. I have nieces and a host of others of you that emailed me and called me to wish me well for our debut show. So I look forward to another later date acknowledging you as well. So before we get started, I also want to thank one of our sponsors, Independent Reps of Soul Purpose, and actually have some of their products here today. I have their Caribbean Ginger. If we're going to bring this up the holiday season, this is a great scent to use. I have here in my little basket our lotion, body lotion, and our shower gel and lotion. Let's take a smell of this, Elaine. You want to hold this?
Sure.
Okay, let's put the basket back down. Let's see.
This is the bath and shower gel.
Yeah, okay. Look, I can even smell this without my with my little nostrils kind of blocked up
Can
here.
I have some?
Yeah, okay, sure.
All right.
See how that
Okay.
works.
Well, you know, it's a Caribbean ginger, and I'm Caribbean.
All right.
And I love ginger.
Okay.
So
And
that
where
fits
are
in
you
the
from?
place. I'm from Jamaica.
Jamaica. That's awesome. And how long have you been over in the States?
Oh, I've been here over 40 years.
40. Oh, you don't look 40 years old, Elaine. Come on.
Oh, thank you. My ego thanks you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And
Women have those too.
Yeah, I just want to, congratulate you on this new venture.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for giving people like me the opportunity to get our information out and our news out to a worldwide audience. So thank you again.
You're welcome. Glad to have you here. Okay, so that's our sponsor, Soul Purpose. And if you look down at the bottom of your screen there, you'll be able to go to the website and learn about the Caribbean Ginger. And actually, Nadine Thompson, her story, she's from Haiti, so you'll be able to learn all about her and her wonderful products and her story. With that, Elaine, we're going to get into your background a little bit. I know you've been an attorney for several decades, helping people to navigate through the legal system. We all know how difficult that can be at times, knowing who to go to first. From there, give us some background about yourself.
Well, in addition to being an attorney, and being an attorney has given me a wonderful opportunity to explore other avenues. I was a college professor for about 14 years, a law school administrator, and that gave me the opportunity to try to have an impact on young people and help them in their quest to be attorneys.
And Elaine is also a #1 best-selling author, and I want to ask you, Elaine, to tell us more about that. I have your book here called Unbreakable Spirit, Rising Above the Impossible. That sounds like a real exciting title.
Thanks, Audrey. Unbreakable Spirit is a compilation of stories from people all over the world to tell their story of how they've overcome. Lisa refers to us as her ambassadors of fortitude. There are stories of individuals who have overcome life-threatening diseases. One individual overcame a lifetime of bullying, homelessness, and my particular story, The Miracle of Divine Timing, talks about a period in my life when I was in law school and I was almost homeless.
Wow.
And so the purpose of these stories is to show people that no matter what you're going through, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely.
And that if you keep that hope and that intestinal fortitude and that knowledge and that faith that you can overcome, then you can. And, this is a great gift during the holiday season for someone who wants to give this gift of hope and inspiration to someone close to them.
Absolutely. And tell our viewers where they can pick up a copy of this book.
You can go to my website at ElaineBGreaves.com. That's ELAINE, B as in boy, Greaves, GREAVES.com.
Okay, and we'll get that down at the bottom of the screen so they can see that later as well, and that she'll be able to pick up a copy. Now tell us about, I know you mentioned Lisa Nichols. Tell us a little bit about how that piece came together, and then a little bit more about your story.
Yeah, as I said, Lisa Nichols has been successful in the past in assisting people who want to get their stories out. Okay. Of course, she's a New York Times bestseller many times over. She was in the film and the book The Secret. She did several of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, and many other books. And so I felt assured when I found out about this opportunity that would certainly be a way for me to get my message out. And what the story is about is, as I said, that time in my life when I made several mistakes.
Okay, haven't we all?
Yes, and sometimes in our lives when we make mistakes, we feel that it is over, that there is no way to get out from under that. And I certainly felt that at that time. You know, I went to Canada to law school, and I was estranged from my parents. Okay. And I, because of some really foolish mistakes I made, I was without money. I was penniless. Wow. And at some point, I was going to school. I hadn't even paid my tuition. I was going from place to place, trying to find some place to live. I would, stay at different people's homes over a period of time. Yes. And it was important for me to have a place to live. And so food became secondary. It was also important for me to stay in school. And my goal was to stay in law school no matter what. And so the thing that suffered was my ability to feed myself. And so for a period of about 3 months, I lived on crackers and tea. I would go around the law school cafeteria and pick up the crackers that other students had left after they had had their meal. I'd buy a cup of hot tea in the morning, and for every time right after each class, I would go and replenish that with hot water and keep that tea back for the whole day so that I could have the strength to keep going back to class, so I could have the strength to study the many, many hours it took for one to study in law school. And, I lost about 30 pounds during that time. My hair fell out. Yeah. I was in terror and in fear, crying out to God, God, help me. What am I going to do? And, the story is divine timing. Okay. And, one day I realized that as I walked around the law school cafeteria, there was no more crackers. And so I decided to go across campus to the larger cafeteria. And as I walked, something said to me, go that way. Okay. And I said, well, I'm thinking to myself, the cafeteria is right over here. Why should I go that way? And I kept walking, and something said, go that way. And I said, okay. I'm talking to myself. I said, okay. I'll go that way. And as I walked and I looked into the distance, I saw a familiar figure. And she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her. And I realized it's someone that I had known from Sunday school in Jamaica. Wow. Of all places. Here we were 5,000 miles from Jamaica. And God put this person in my pathway, and she became the conduit for this divine timing that I talk about. She became the conduit for my rescue. And every time I go through difficult periods in my life, I think about this time when I followed my intuition, I followed my hunch. Had I not followed that hunch, had I kept walking straight the way that I had planned to walk, this miracle, this divine timing would not have met me along the way. Absolutely would not. And I thought, Elaine, I hate to break you right now, but we need to have a word from our sponsor, and we want to hear even more about that, because it's about
tenacity, perseverance, and really tuning in to your spirit. And if you are a spiritual person, really tuning in to the leading of the Holy Spirit. And that's just an awesome story. I'm sitting here, I can think of some other things, questions more I'd like to ask, but we'll be right back. Okay, we're back here with Miss Elaine Greaves. Elaine, we left off when you were telling us about your classmate in Sunday school and how you connected on that divine day, as you put it, the divine timing, and tell us how that story culminated.
Yeah, and because of her generosity, and taking me to meet with her mother and her siblings, they rescued me. They rescued me. And, through the decades, we lost contact. But I'm happy to say that I will be spending part of the holidays with them, with the Holgate family in Canada.
Awesome.
And Maureen is the one that started this whole chain of events, of inviting me to her home. Had it not been for her, I'm not sure what would have happened to me during that period of time, because I was, within hours of being homeless.
Yes, absolutely. That is an awesome, very powerful story that Elaine has shared with us today. Please definitely pick up a copy of the book, Unbreakable Spirit. Again, a website is there. You'll be able to locate it. Elaine, since this is a Christmas show, I know this is a global, so everyone that does not celebrate Christmas around the world at this time, but within keeping with the spirit of the book and the things that you've gone through, tell us a little bit more. I know you mentioned about being estranged from your family, and this is an awesome time to be talking about something like that during a holiday time when people want to be, to belong.
Yeah. During that time in going to law school in Canada, I made some bad decisions. And because of those bad decisions, I was cut off from my family. And at that time, as a 21-year-old, I thought that I would never be with them again, that this was it, that I was forever cut off. And, at this time of the holidays, there are people out there who are also cut off from their families for whatever reasons. And many times it doesn't matter who was right or who was wrong. It's a time to reach out. And I did that to my family after a period of time, to reach out to them, to let them know that I love them. And they embraced me and brought me back into the fold. And so that's one of the stories I want to tell about this chapter. Maybe it will help you to know that all is not lost. Whether you're homeless, whether you're without a place to live, not enough to eat, particularly in this economy, and families are apart at this time of the year. Reach out. Put your ego aside and your pride aside, and let them know how much you love them.
Yes.
And it was a wonderful reunion for my parents and I and my siblings when we were able to get together again. So Christmas is a time of sharing and caring and reaching out and to those you love. And I would suggest to you, this is the right time for you to reach out to those loved ones.
Awesome. Thank you, Elaine. So please take the advice of Elaine. If you're if it's not your fault, we're even worried about fault here. We're worried about mending and healing relationships. That's so key, so important.
Yeah.
At this time and at any time of the year, but do it now, sooner rather than later. People, sooner rather than later. We're in a time where we really just need to, to have those bonds and those relationships. We don't know what's going on down the road. All we have is today. Let's take advantage of it. Thank you again. This is Audrey Wiggins. Any other last words or things you want to share with our audience today, Elaine?
Yeah, in addition to writing, as you indicated in the beginning, that I am a speaker, and I've had the opportunity to share some of my life experiences through speaking with others. I do serve also as a leadership coach. I work with businesses and organizations to help them improve their leadership skills. And as a matter of fact, I have a free teleseminar that's coming up in January 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they can go on my website and sign up for that. And we're just going to talk about leadership. And in order for us to really, whether you're talking about leadership in the home, leadership in your business, as a manager, as a supervisor, or someone who wants to get promoted.
Okay.
Leadership skills are so crucial.
Absolutely.
And these are, we're going to talk about some of the facets of leadership.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Elaine, for being on the show. Again, you can pick up a copy of Elaine's book, Unbreakable Spirit, at ElaineGreaves.com. Please do that, and while you're there, to register for her teleseminar and to contact her for some of her other services. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, and if you too can be a sponsor, you can advertise on our show, go to our blog at blog.MakeSomethingHappen.TV. The pricing of all the advertising is listed there. Until then, you go out and make something happen positive in your world. This is Audrey Wiggins.